Rose City, the after show, the podcast where we dive into the wonderful world of the popular novel Rose City by author Karina Q. In each episode, we will be discussing a different aspect of the book, from the complex characters to the intricate plot twists and everything in between. Check out Rose City on Kindle Vella to stay up to date as we explore the unique perspectives and insights on this story. All right. I'm going to be silly today, so just bear with me.
I'm on
Icebreaker question today.
on your energy. Sorry.
Well, no, it's all good because really, I feel it. Like we've had some technical difficulties today, but I feel like we're gonna turn up anyway. So don't get too scared. So our icebreaker question today is: are you big on titles in a relationship, or are you more of a let it happen and flow on its own kind of person? Who wants to take that first? You want to go, Kyrie?
Yeah, I am definitely not big on titles in the relationship. Once upon a time, when I thought titles meant something to people, I was, but that didn't work out too well. And so I was just like, just forget the titles. Let's just let things flow. And, I want to get to know people for who they are, outside of what they want to be called. So if you respect that title where you're abiding by it, then I'll respect it too. But if you want people to treat you a certain way because of your title, but you're not following and honoring that title yourself, then I'm not going to respect your title either. I don't care who you are: mother, father, sister, brother, cousin, boss. I was going to say God.
Alicia, are you big on titles in a relationship?
Mm, absolutely. We need to know who is who. I don't like that whole, if you're my man, you need to know you're my man. If I'm your woman, we need to know that. I do not like that whole, oh, well, we just chilling. I want to know you're in it. We getting to know each other. No, either
We're
we
not
together
five.
or we're
We're
not.
together.
Right. I don't like that whole, no, I just want to see how we vibe and
Mm-mm.
whatever. So on me, yes, I am big on the titles. I need to know where we stand, how I'm gonna treat you, because if we're just friends, I might, go pursue
You want to be
somebody
treated
that,
as a friend.
yeah, I'm gonna treat you. You're gonna be friend zoned,
You want
and
to be
then I'm
friends.
gonna go find me a Russell or a Jason Momoa that's
Russell.
interested, yeah, in being, he that wants that title of boyfriend, Alicia's dude, or blah blah blah. So yeah, I think, but that's just me. I'm petty, I guess. I just I don't know. I just feel like we should know where we stand. If we're together, I need to know I'm your girl, and you need to know. I'm laughing about, somebody dropped dead and you've been with them for a while. You're the special
Yes, we talk about it. In the funeral program, you get listed as a
friend
special
in the
friend.
program. You're the special friend.
That's a slap in the
Mhm.
face. And you
The
know why you get
special.
called the special friend? Because you're over a certain age and you've been together for, 5 or 10 years or plus. And it's like, well, you really can't call her his girlfriend because he died at 45. But that's exactly what she was. She was his girlfriend. Now we have reduced her down to a special friend because the older generation feels like, to say that he had a live-in girlfriend. Well, that's what she was. Put her down as his girlfriend. You're gonna put her down as a special friend, folks. How many funeral services have gotten turned up because of that word special friend?
Oh,
Alicia
girl.
knows. Yeah.
Fights in the parking lot with baby mamas, special friends, the
Yeah.
homies.
Hmm.
I'm like, dang, this dude, he was getting around.
And if
Females
mama didn't
bring.
like her, people get
Oh
shaded.
yeah,
People's kids get left
mama
out of
get
funeral
into it,
programs.
auntie, cousins, but yeah, I've seen baby mamas and special friends get into it like heavy
Oh, baby. Parking
at the
lot
funeral.
tussle. Hmm.
And
That's what
sometimes
happens.
two different viewings, because they'll have a viewing for the
Yep.
family,
Yep.
that has the baby mama, and then they have another viewing for like the special friend and the
Yeah.
home.
Because there's going to be some clashing of the Titans,
You
baby.
don't
They
want
fighting
nobody.
at the
Yeah.
service.
So,
So you can see
yeah.
what our background looks like when you've been raised in a funeral home and you start to see all these little titles and stuff and things get
Mhm.
toe up. Did you want to say something,
Right.
Kyrie?
No, I was just thinking like I was trying to think what's the difference between title and a label because I do agree, with Alicia's viewpoint on it. Um, but even when I was thinking about that, I'm just like, no, I'm over it. I've been burnt out on titles, so I'm still good. Like even with my husband now, I was never even trying to get married again. I was just so over it. Like we can just have fun, enjoy life together, and then when that ship sails, if we're done journeying together, then hey, you're free to go. Like I don't care about titles no more because they just don't mean anything. So I love your perspective, and I used to be there, but I'm just not anymore. So that's what I was just thinking about.
Well, as for me, maybe I'm a bit on the controlling side. I need a title. You know what I'm saying? Because there are certain things I'm only going to do for you when we have titles in place. I'm not sleeping with you because we don't have a title. I see a lot of that today in society. It's like we're gonna just chill. We're gonna just get to know each other. We're gonna have fun. Yeah, we can go to the amusement park. We can go walk around the park, but you're not gonna come over. You're not spending the night at my house because I only do that to people who are with somebody that I have a title with. If you are just a random regular person who I'm just chilling with, well, let's continue to keep on chilling, okay? Because I feel like there's only certain rights and privileges that you get from certain titles. Like like if you are the CEO of a company, there's certain privileges that you get from being the CEO. You know what I'm saying? If you are the mail sorter at the same company, your privileges look different versus the CEO. You're not on the same level. You don't get the same privileges, right? You know what I mean? You both are employed for the company, but your titles demand different perks. So that's where I'm at. And the reason why this question came up was because there's something that Chan says to Malia. He calls her, his girl and introduce her as that. And she's like, you didn't ask me though, sir. Like, you never asked me. Are we, would you like to be coupled up with me? Would you like to be called mine? He just was like, oh, yeah, that's my girlfriend. And she's like, but what we're not going to do is we're not going to start calling people, things without getting that formal acceptance. I'm all about consent. I'm all about asking questions so that we can know exactly where we're at. Because what you're not going to do is play some Jedi mind trick with me and be like, I never claimed you. Because I have a friend from back in the day. She was with this guy for about 8 or 9 months. Spend the night at his house almost every night. They were talking about having a baby and just all the works. And so one night they were watching TV and something came up on the television and she was like, babe, you wouldn't do that to me and da 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 da. And he was like, I mean, but you're not even my girlfriend, so I can do whatever I want to do. And she was like, what? And she was like, what do you mean? And he was like, I never asked you to go out with me. She was like, but I assume like I've been going out with you. You take me to your functions at your job. I'm spending the night every night. I've met your family. We're talking about having a baby. Like I assumed. And he was like, well, I never asked. And she got up and she grabbed her bags and then she left. And then he was like, oh, I didn't know it meant that much for a title. Then he wanted her to come back. But at that moment, she was like, no, I'm done. Because she was like, yo, I literally was curbing other people because I thought we were in something together. No, I don't assume anymore. I need to be asked questions. I need to hear you say, Karina, will you be mine? If I don't hear you say that, then do you, boo? Because I'm not taking this serious until I know that you're taking it serious. And I feel like anybody who's got a brain in their head, if you run up on somebody, you know that person is like really good stock. Like, sorry to say, folks, but good people aren't like they're not everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to just remember like people, oh, it's a dime a dozen. Good people aren't a dime a dozen. Good people are hard to find. So if you run upon somebody and you know that person's a good person and you're not going to lock that down, then shame on you. Because baby, when the next cowboy rides in town and he see what it is, oh baby, we going. So I need a good title because if not, I can't give you all the privileges of being with me. Any other questions before we move on to our introduction? Y'all be getting on my nerves. Anyway, I love my girls. I love my girls. And they looking so fine, so fierce today. I'm just so proud I got these baddies on my team. Yes, God, honey, hallelujah. All right, so let's do a recap of the story. first off, what were y'all's thoughts on some of the things that happened? And I will let Kyrie go first because your microphone thingy is acting up today. Go ahead. What were your thoughts, reflections?
I really enjoyed this episode. It was quite explosive the way he exposed Malia's professor. And I think this is the episode where Chan faked the relationship with the family to kind of smooth over how he got there, you know. And as crazy as it was, I just thought that was so sweet, you know. I was just like, that is just like the effort that it goes through to put that stuff together in your mind, you know, just to make it look good, you know. I don't know, but it was really sweet gesture, you know. And he showed up, and I don't know why Antonio showed up at all. Honestly, I'm like, boy, you already in hot water. Like, what are you doing here? Like, so I loved another great episode from our queen here.
Alicia, what were your thoughts on this episode?
Oh, you and Kyrie and this romanticizing of being kidnapped and thinking, oh, he put so much effort into it. I mean,
Wait a minute, I didn't even say anything.
oh, you're in this too, ma'am. You're in this too. Because
I done got
y'all
lumped into something.
always go floating in the clouds, and then me, I gotta be the one to pull you niggas into reality. Like, yo, that is not romantic. That is fucking crazy. Damn. But okay, so my thoughts, I thought it was hilarious um that Chan, did the whole fake family thing to,
Man,
because she looked over and saw that he was like taking pictures with these people. And I'm like, he must have picked the right family because most
he
people be
really
like, who
did.
are you? Get away. Like, no, we ain't taking pictures. Like, what are you? Get out, go
Yes,
away. We don't know you. But this
definitely.
family, I guess, was they didn't know that they were being used, but um that was funny. The professor getting busted out was insane. Oh, and Chris the barista, that Negro.
Yes, barista baby.
I'm like, I knew he was gonna be back. I told y'all. I told y'all
Yeah,
he gonna snap, but he was back, last episode too. But it's funny how he showed up at the graduation.
yeah,
And you're right, Antonio should not have been there. It was Malia's
not at all.
graduation. It was something for Malia. It's not like his girlfriend was graduating too, or he had a cousin or a friend. This was Malia being celebrated, her something she accomplished, and right now he's in hot water. He need to go, soothe things over with his girl.
You need to go soak in
Um,
that tub
you
and
know,
go to hell
and
on.
okay. Anyway, so that those are my thoughts. Antonio shouldn't have been there. He was doing the
Definitely.
most. Chan, he thought of something quick and played it off because yeah, Malia's like, how'd you know I was graduating? How'd you know
Right.
to be here today? And then he don't want her to know that he's actually been surveilling her. So yeah, and then whatchamacallit, Chris the barista, of course, showing up and
Sure
wilding out at the
that.
end. So,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of glad, one more thing I'm going to add, I'm kind of glad Eva got a little taste of who this Negro is, um, of Chris the barista.
Right.
Like if I was in a situation like that, I would want Karina or Kyrie to know, hey, this crazy guy's been following me around and
Right.
blah, blah, blah. So the fact that Chris wilded out in front of Eva, she knows to be on guard too now. Like, hold on, this nigga's crazy. Okay, girl, if we see him now, if it's me and Karina, he getting jumped.
He's getting
But
jumped,
they
basically.
know to get out of they
Don't let
other
these hoop
people.
earrings and the hair and the makeup fool you. We get down, baby. Period. You know what I'm
He's getting
saying?
jumped. So
Definitely on site.
yeah, those are my thoughts. It was a good episode. Good
Oh well,
episode.
thank you, thank you. Yeah. So a little bit of the replay of the episode. So last episode we end off with Chan, helping to expose Professor Pervert. I really like to call him that, special instead of Professor Morazzo. We just call him Professor Pervert. he gets exposed, and now he knows, everybody knows, administrators at the school, everybody's looking, everybody's kind of whispering, trying to figure out like what to do now that this information has been leaked. He gets so upset in his anger and dazed and confused that he thought he was going to swing on Chan. I screamed again. I wrote it, but it's been a while since like I've read that part. I was like, he really swung on this dude. So yeah, he swung on him, which that didn't go very well. I thought it was also interesting that Chan showed up to the graduation, and Lee's like, well, like, how come you are here? Like, she knew she didn't tell him. And he's like, well, the better question is why you didn't invite me. And she's like, because you said you were working. She's like, I asked you a question. What are you doing Saturday? And you said, I have to work. And so Malia was like, I dropped it. And I kind of wondered to myself, like, why wouldn't Malia be like, oh, I wanted to invite you to my graduation, to kind of like see if that would have persuaded him to be like, oh, what's your graduation? I'll be there. But I do think that Malia is one of those people who she tries not to impose herself on other people. She's like, I think when you're used to never being picked, when you're used to everybody choosing everything else over you, you automatically have this assumption of just being like, oh, just because something's important to me, it's probably not going to be important to them because of how I've been treated my whole life. So yeah, I'm not even going to try to guilt trip you so I can just feel stupid in the end. Like, I told you I have to go to work. I can't be at your graduation. And then it's like, now I feel stupid, right? So I think that's what Malia was like. I'm going to just spare myself the disappointment of him not being able to be there because work is clearly more important than I am. So that's a deep hole that has been dug in her, if you notice. You know what I'm saying? Because I know a lot of people, you'd be like, well, this is something big in your life. Why wouldn't you want this person who you're talking to celebrate that? But it does go to show like that level of hurt that you can't take another person telling you that's just not important to me. So I thought that was interesting that she didn't press it. But Antonio, he called himself showing up. Now, a couple days earlier, April was at the store tearing things up, mad and screaming and telling him, you know what, since you're so in love with her, you can have her. Now, all of a sudden, he thinks it's best for him to show up and pay his proper respects. It's kind of a Rose City thing. When you are a part of a certain community of people, when they're trying to save face, you will show up to things that you probably shouldn't be at because if you don't make an appearance, everybody's going to be like, Antonio didn't go to Malia's graduation. Those rumors must be true. See, when you are guilty, people expect you not to act guilty, right? And if you don't show up to certain events and do different things, and it's like, see, they didn't show up because it's real, and they're trying to avoid the heat. That's why it sucks being a part of certain groups of people, because even when something goes down or you feel wronged, you showing up, it's you not showing up really speaks volumes to how you feel about a situation or a person. Like if your mama has a birthday party and you like, I'm not going, everybody's like, ooh, they must be into it. It just kind of causes that snowball effect. So Antonio had to make sure that he was there to keep appearances up, since rumors are now flying around town. Frank, oh daddy Frank, he felt this ominous presence as Malia walked across the stage last chapter. He felt something strange. He was like, what is that? And he didn't think nothing of it. It wasn't until he caught Malia and Chan in a whole tongue lock that he was like, oh my God, I felt this evilness, right? And then all of a sudden he's like thinking to himself, like, what did I do? What can I do to save my child? Frank, we've already established that you are powerless. So just go somewhere and sit down in the corner like a 5-year-old. You don't want none of this, daddy. You don't want that. So that's all happening. Malia's grandmother, she takes notice of, who is this good looking man kissing on my granddaughter? And then of course, Sandy has to be like, oh, he's got money. And then automatically grandma's like, okay. Because I was going to have something to say about him not being black, like, because grandma was not going to go for it. But when she was like, oh, he has really deep pockets, grandma's like, we can overlook a few things. We can overlook that. I mean, as long as he's successful. So clearly, money and finances are more important to grandma than other things. But that goes down. And Chris, like the lady said, Chris shows back up this time, and he shows his ASS. And like Alicia said, it was nice that he did it in front of Eva, but he didn't just do it in front of Eva. He did it in front of another group of people. And when the girls broke off and ran because he was acting up, a crowd of people like, calm down, young man. It's going to be okay, right? So I think sometimes when you go through things, I've had people try to minimize some of my experiences. Like if I say, I don't know, I'll just put this out there. Never figured out what this was about. Somebody was leaving stuff at my house, like gifts. This was like years ago when I first moved into my home. Um, I would get teddy bears on my car. Um, just weird stuff. Like I would find candy on my front steps. One day I came outside and there were like 30 business cards. Somebody had taken all these business cards and just put them out there. And it was all this stuff for like home repairs. So whoever it was like, I mean, if you need anything, just call these places and you're covered. And I'm like, that's why they have Google, but I didn't understand it. Like I remember one day I came home from picking my kids up from school and there were all this like candy outside. It was like those big lollipops that are like that big and they have all the like the circles and the swirls and all this. So it wasn't like they just went to Safeway. Like whoever this was specifically went to a candy shop and bought candy. And they bought 3 of them. So I figured like that was supposed to be for the kids, but I definitely wasn't going to give my kids candy that was left on like our front step, you know? So T's like, maybe it's the older lady who lives over here. And I'm like, most people will be like, hey, I left something at your house. Did you get it? Or they'll leave you a note. Weird stuff just kept happening. And it's like, at this time, doorbell cameras wasn't a thing. So I couldn't say who it was. Nobody else in the neighborhood had it because it was like 2011, 2012. So I don't know to this day who that was who was doing those things. They even got pretty bold at one point. They had put like a rabbit on my car, like with like the little hat and the bow and all that stuff. And so I came outside. I had my niece Isabella and my 3 children, and I was taking them to like the park. It was summertime. And they put it on the driver's side, window. And I took it, me being extra, I took the rabbit and I threw it into the street, right? Just threw it. I was like, I don't know who put this. I don't want it. I put it
Is
on.
this
Yeah,
a
go ahead,
real
sis.
rabbit? Like a dead rabbit?
No, oh no, girl. I would have called the cops for a dead rabbit. This is a rabbit and
Oh,
dressed up.
okay.
Yeah. So I took the rabbit and I threw it in the middle of the street and I was like, I don't know who's doing this. Leave me alone. And so I threw it in the street and I came back home. Somebody had taken the rabbit out of the middle of the street and they had propped it up against my tree in my yard and had it sitting. It wasn't like they just threw it over there. Like they propped the rabbit up, like the little stuffed animal rabbit, and made the stuffed animal rabbit nice. And my niece was like 13, 14. She's like, Auntie, somebody put the rabbit by the tree. I was like, okay, I got it. So me and my loca self, I took the rabbit and put it back in the street. And I was like, I got to show them a message. So I took my car and I drove back and forth over the rabbit. Whoever I know is extra, but I needed to let this person know I don't want your gifts. I don't know who you are, but I'm crazy. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to mess with her. So I drove over the rabbit over and over. My kids were like, what are you doing? Layla's like, I'll take it. She's a little baby. And I'm like, no, you're not going to have this.
You left tire marks on that nigga. You was like, nah, you
tore
can do
that rabbit
everything.
up, baby. That rabbit got that work. Okay, that rabbit got that work. And so after that, like I don't remember getting any like getting more gifts, but the gifts it went on for like a year, but I don't know what it was. I never figured out who it was. Don't know. 2012, 13, 14, whatever. No, it was like 2012. Something like around that area. I don't know who it was. I don't know. So the gifts stopped, but weird stuff started happening. Like I would find like broken glass, in front of like my front steps. Like I would be coming down my steps in the morning and big thick shards of like glass would be there. And I'd be like, oh my God, what is this? And so I would, take pictures and I showed my husband and he'd be like, I don't know. I don't feel like he really took it serious. I would take pictures. I'm like, somebody broke glass for me to step on and cut myself, or they left candy. And he's like, oh, somebody's probably trying to be nice. I'm like, that's not something that you do to be nice. When nobody knows you, you don't do that. So I don't know. Never figured out who it was. We got a doorbell camera many, many years later. I haven't had any more issues or problems. Whoever it was, maybe they moved on with their lives or realized I was just as crazy as them and they could get it on site if they needed to, because you don't play that stalking stuff. So yeah, that was that. But yeah, this was a very interesting chapter, and there's a lot of layers going on here. We're seeing Anna and all of her glory. We're seeing Veronica, looking at her family like, why are these people behaving this way? We were seeing Sandy salivate at the idea of Malia getting hitched with the right kind of man and making the family proud by having all these extra dollars. Like, yeah, it was a lot, but I liked it. Just that's life. Life is layered. So that's that.